Yo, what's going on? I'm doing too much. I don't know why. Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is JayDamage. I'm back again with another video. So in this video, I kind of just wanted to, just review some videos within my field. As you know, I'm a black graphic designer, black videographer, and pretty much a guy that just deals with media. And I actually make money from my profession. I've been making money from it for years. And today I just decided to watch another black creator speak about what he does. So basically, this guy's name is Rico, and this video is called "How to Start a Graphic Design Business with No Experience." So one thing I want to tell people, if you do plan on being a graphic designer, you can start with no experience. I mean, you could just wake up tomorrow, go download Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever Adobe programs or Canva, whatever you want to do. You can go ahead and just jump right into it. But one thing I am going to tell you is if you do want to start it as a business, you do need some type of experience if you're going to be building a business. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole serious thing. If you are building a legit business, there are things that you need to be getting together, like LLCs, trademarks, get your logos and just get everything put together to properly run a business. But I mean, I would think you need some type of experience. You can start it with no experience, but you need some type of experience if you plan on selling product. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into this video, and I'll just give you guys my honest opinion based off the things that he's saying. So I'm walking into this unbiased. I don't know this guy like that. I'm just gonna watch it and we're just gonna go from there. So let's go.
By the end of this video, you will completely understand how to make money as a graphic designer. Now, I'm more than qualified to teach you about this. And why? Because since 2015, I've probably cleared over $100,000 as a graphic designer. Now, I'm gonna keep it real.
Since 2015, he's cleared over 100K. That's what's up. That's a lot. I don't know if I've cleared 100K. No, think about it. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But that's a lot. That means that he was working. Either he was working or he was charging a lot for his designs. But let's go.
With you. Most of that has been because professionally, I am a graphic designer. A considerable amount of that actually comes from me doing freelance graphic design on Instagram. And today, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to build that kind of business. Now, I'm gonna give you real life examples of how I was able to build my freelance graphic design business. And they are universal principles that you can apply to any which way you can take this. Now, if you follow me, you already know this, but if not, on this channel, I cover multiple ways of how to make money. And most of those ways, you need graphic design as a skill to have. Logo, flyer, promo material. You would eventually have to either do it yourself or pay somebody to do it. But if you consider learning it yourself, then you can cut down on a lot of expenses, and cutting down on expenses is always a good business move. Also, I'm 100% self-taught. And I'm gonna tell you how to go from somebody that's just interested, is why you click today, to somebody who is actively making money as a graphic designer. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the very first thing you need to do, bro, is you need to learn. In today's world, you can learn how to do anything, and I mean anything, 100% by yourself on the internet. And that is very true for graphic design. I mean, it is really underrated how easy it is to learn a skill like graphic design and then take it and scale it to 100,000, bro. But the first part of that battle is finding which software you're gonna use. Now, mostly the most popular graphic design software is Adobe Photoshop, and then followed shortly after that is Adobe Illustrator. Now, both of these come in the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, which I will link you to below if you're into.
Okay, I wouldn't necessarily say that, Photoshop is the most popular, and then but Photoshop and Illustrator are basically function in two different ways. See, so basically on Photoshop, most of the time when people use Photoshop, they're creating mostly JPEG images of things like promotional items, flyers, mixtape covers, album covers, things of that nature. Now, when it comes to Illustrator, those are more vector. That's more of a vector program. Well, it is a fucking vector program. And basically what you're doing is you're creating vector graphics for things. A lot of times, not a lot of times, actually rarely are people making flyers and all those type of things on on Illustrator. Really, for Illustrator, people mostly use Illustrator to build like logos and different word titles. Like people usually use Illustrator for vector graphics. They're not usually using it for all the other things. That's the main reason why I sometimes say that people who use nothing but Photoshop or only use Illustrator, I wouldn't necessarily call those people graphic designers, because you only do one thing. You're not, because I feel like a graphic designer is a person that's kind of all around, that does everything within the field, not a person that just does one thing. But let's continue.
Interested in getting them. After that, the battle is learning Photoshop, right? Learning Illustrator, learning these programs. And that's all the tools, what everything does. People think the hard part is actually designing, doing all the special effects, when that actually isn't hard at all. The hard part is learning how to navigate, remembering where all the buttons are. If I want to do this, where do I go to do it, basically. Now, you're also going to have to put that time in to learn. And when I did it, I invested about 2 to 4 hours a night. Every day I was getting off of work at about 11, making it home at about 11:30, 12. And this is at night, of course. Then from about 12 to maybe 3 or 4 a.m., I'm up learning Photoshop every single night. And I cannot state this enough. All the tutorials I watched to get started were only on YouTube. So this is 100% free knowledge.
Facts. Super facts. If you are a person that plans on getting into graphic design at any point in time in your life, one thing you have to understand is, like, I try to tell people, if you plan on going to college for graphic design, one thing that I want you to understand is almost everything that you're going to learn in college, you could literally find out on YouTube. And I feel like in college, they will be teaching you so much unnecessary stuff about all this history and all this other shit, when in reality, once you get into that field, it's a bunch of information that you're not even going to need. Because once you're actually in the field of graphic design and you're actually dealing with customer demands, you need to know how to navigate that program. So everything he's saying is correct. So let's continue.
Here's one thing I wish I would have done that I'm going to advise you to do. Please just pick one teacher and stick with them. And here's why. I made the mistake of jumping around to a bunch of different people to learn a bunch of different things. And when you start learning design, you start learning that there's literally a million different ways to do one thing. And what that does for a beginner is completely throws you off and confuses you. So in order to do that,
let me pause this video. Let me give him his props. He is absolutely right. And also, I kind of disagree. So he's basically saying stick with one teacher, you know what I'm saying? So you can basically learn a solid technique. In my opinion, I'm not telling nobody to stick with one teacher or anything. Always just say find whatever you're comfortable with, something, just try to find the videos that you feel like help you learn the best, and then kind of just roll with that. Sticking with one teacher necessarily, I don't know, because like what he's saying is right. One thing about graphic design, especially Illustrator, there's so many different techniques of doing something that, it's best to learn it from a person and then, kind of explore, within your own knowledge of putting something together. Because if you do jump around everywhere, you might confuse yourself or lose inspiration. But I would just say, man, look, just keep looking around until you find something that you're comfortable with. You don't necessarily have to stick with one teacher, but I'm telling you, move around and just try to learn as much as possible before you start, selling any type of product. But let's go.
You stick with one person, they have their own design theory, they have their own process of doing things, and then once you get a good grip on it, then you can branch out and learn better or other methods. But it's best that you just stick with one person in the beginning. I really wish I would have done that. I do have a good playlist that I'm going to put here in the description. It has all the essentials that you need to learn the tools at first. All right, so now you've gotten familiar with the tools, you know where everything is, you're ready to start learning, you're ready to really dive in. Now it's time for you to do tutorials and get practice, right? Now, I don't know if you've ever played a sport or done anything, but it basically applies. The more practice you get, the better you get at it. And tutorials are a great practice because they tell you step by step on how to do things. Learning to operate the software, like I mentioned previously, is the hardest part, right? However, you also need to learn design theory, learn about how colors go together, learn about contrast, learn about what fonts are meant to be used for, and all that type of stuff. Stuff that I did not do and honestly made my graphic design career once I transitioned over to being a professional and really getting better seriously, I had no foundation. So I really had to go all the way to the bottom and learn again. So
okay, so I get what he's saying with that. So basically, when it comes down to art, you do want to know some type, but at the same time, it's art. You do what the hell you want to do. You do what you feel like looks right. But once you finally get to the point of being in that professional field, you have to know these things in order to put together some of these projects the right way. Is because if you have no knowledge of how a lot of these fonts and a lot of these colors, and let's say you building a logo and they want shadows and highlights, if you don't have any knowledge of how these things look, then you're going to be lost in the sauce. So yes, you do want to have some type of knowledge, but if you are a freelance graphic designer, people are booking you for, your graphic design style, do your graphic design style and do not fight too hard to be too perfect for a standard that you think you're supposed to do. Always say just be you, and the money will come. Let's continue.
really advise you to do that. And once again, I'm going to give you good resources right here in this description. Also, let me know in the comments if y'all want me to do it. If y'all want me to teach you this stuff, this basic stuff, I for sure will. Because like I said, whether you want to make graphic design your next hustle, or you want to be a car salesman or open a t-shirt shop, learning graphic design is a valuable skill to have if you're a business owner. Like even me, I think about other YouTubers and think like, what, do you have to pay somebody for every thumbnail? Like, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine being a YouTuber without my graphic design skills. You know what I mean? All right.
I ain't gonna lie to you, me neither. Like, it trips me out to think that there are people paying people for every single thumbnail. Like, that's the main reason why I jumped into graphic design, because I'm trying to be that person y'all paying. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
So after you get your practice, you've practiced enough, you've watched enough tutorials, now you feel like you can make a good design. Now you're ready to build your business. This is how you build your design business right here. And once again, I did it on Instagram. However, you don't have to. I think these same principles will apply. The very first thing, of course, is going to be get an Instagram page, right? Now you're probably like, bro, I already have an Instagram page. You need a separate one for your artwork. Here's why. This page needs to have a clean aesthetic, right? And the word aesthetic basically summed up means feel good to look at. It needs to all go together and look good together, right? Yep. When you have your artwork and then you have memes or pictures of your food or your shoes all in between, all together as a gallery, that doesn't look good. So keep your art page clean, no memes, none of that type of stuff. Just make sure it's all artwork. Because see,
yes, he is spitting right now. Yes, it's been so many times I've had to talk to artists, businesses, and telling people to clean up your damn page. For some reason, it's like people do not understand the concept of when people come to your page and they just see a bunch of memes or they see a bunch of videos of your cat and they don't see no content. They don't see an organized platform of content regarding your business. They're not going to take you serious. They're not going to pay you top dollar. You don't even look official. Your look is everything. I've said this in interviews that I've did. If you just look up my name, JayDamage, you look up my interviews. I've said this in interviews. People, like, the way people spend money is built on perception. If you look like it, if you look like money, people want to spend money with you. If you look like you're starving, people are not going to want to pay you. It's weird, but that's just the way it is. If your page is unorganized and unprofessional looking, people are not going to want to fucking pay you. Especially if you black. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, you already know. Let's go.
I made the mistake of not doing this. Once I learned this principle, I took all that other stuff off, and then boom, instantly I started getting more fans. I started getting more clients on my art page. And here's the logic behind it. When we're looking at artists, right, piece by piece, yeah, this stuff is cool. But when you see an artist's gallery and you see it all together, and it's like, wow, that's why that's important, and that's why that actually helps. Also,
I feel like that. Niggas see my gallery, they see how nice my shit is. And it's weird because it's like you would think people would look at my shit and say, that shit is dope. Niggas look at my shit and steal and make fake pages and scam people. So shit is crazy, but let's continue.
Come up with a good catchy name. It's important that you're memorable and that when someone sees your logo, sees your tag, they know exactly who it is. All right, so now you're ready to move on. You're ready to get your artwork out there because The ultimate goal is to get clients and make money, right? Well, you have to get your work out there to get clients, and this is exactly how you do that. The best way, since we're using Instagram, is to utilize tags. This isn't an Instagram crash course or nothing like that. However, I'm gonna give you my hashtag logic. The most common mistake when using Instagram tags is people use the most populated tags, and they see a tag with high numbers and they think that they have the highest traffic, and boom, that means that they should use those, right? And number one, that's right, they do have the highest traffic. However, it's wrong. You should not just target those. This is what you should do. What you should do is use hashtags that are less populated, because what happens when you pick one that is super populated is you get lost in the shuffle, because it's so populated. There's 3 or 4 people uploading that same thing every single second, and so unless yours is just really, really good, it's gonna get lost in the shuffle. So when I pick hashtags in the 100 to 500K traffic range, right? And that was my sweet spot. That usually got me a lot of looks, a lot more clients and fans once again. Another way to get your work out there.
Yeah, I think that actually is a good way to get your work out there, is the hashtags, but I'm not gonna lie, that's almost kind of old, an older style of doing things. Nowadays, I kind of feel like people aren't really checking for hashtags like that. I mean, I see a lot of people are doing that on TikTok, but really on Instagram, I don't feel like people are checking the hashtags as hard on Instagram. It's only because there's so much people scamming on Instagram now that people like just don't even fucking trust nobody. Like nowadays, like a real graphic designer is starting to become rare because there's so much people scamming. So really, I would say the hashtag thing is a good thing to do, but make sure once you're using hashtags, make sure you're putting the best quality artwork out there, because there's a lot of competition in them hashtags, and if you ain't up to par, people gonna think you a goddamn scam, or you ain't good enough for them to pay you. Or if anything, they're gonna inbox you and say, will you do a design for me for some promo? I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you the real. I've been doing this almost 10 years. I'm just letting you know. But let's continue.
Is to utilize theme pages. This was a big one. Theme pages usually have a super target audience, and if you can get them to repost your work and tag you, then man, you definitely now are getting yourself out there, getting your work out there. Like for me, I did sneaker artwork, right? And so what I would do is go to different sneaker pages and say, hey, how do you like this concept that I did? Or how do you like this? And then boom, they would repost to their huge following. They would tag me. I get more followers. I get more people interested in a logo or something like that. More clients, right? So if you do dog artwork, go to a dog theme page and ask them, hey, what's it gonna take for you to post this, and see what happens. Even if they charge you, if it's worth it, I would pay it, because once again, you're getting more looks, you're getting more clients. See, what I used to do since I was in the mixtape world was different rappers, famous people, even influencers, I would actually do cartoons of them, right, in hopes that they would repost and tag me, and a lot of the times they did. Most of my clients and fans on my art page are from me doing that exact same process. Like, I've honestly gotten...
I've never heard of this guy. Rico Copeland, Trap Da Vinci. I've never heard of that, but at the same time, actually everything he's saying is on point. You do want to, like, I don't see, a lot of these tactics he's saying is kind of old. I don't know if these still work. I'm gonna keep it 100% honest with y'all. You know, I don't want to be misleading y'all, and I don't think he is either, but a lot of these tactics he's speaking on, these are tactics that I used to use like in 2016, 17. Like, I don't know if these same tactics are still working, but yeah, that was like an old tactic that I used to use. So basically, when I was first building my name, what I used to do was, you know, make cartoons of people, make cartoons of certain things, cartoons of, I would make a cartoon design of an older cartoon, Bebe's Kids, you know, just some dope looking shit. And then I would tag certain things, tag certain people. And yeah, that does get your name out there. But like I said, there's so many scammers right now. I don't know if that tactic would necessarily work. I'm not telling y'all not to do it, but I'm just saying that's an old way of doing it. And nowadays, if you do that, people are going to be real suspicious of you because there's so many fucking scammers. I got to do a new video on the scammers, but yo, the scammers ruined a lot of these tactics that he's talking about. But shout out to him for giving y'all this game. But let's continue.
Shares and retweets from everybody from Chief Keef all the way to Gary Vee. And it's once again all using these types of strategies. Now that you got your artwork out there, you got clients, now it's time to get your schedule and workflow down. Because your next big challenge, honestly, especially if you plan on getting clients, is how do you fit all these clients and get them their work back in a timely manner, right? Like for me, when I first started, for me to do what I would consider a masterpiece, it would take me anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, right? But if you plan on getting lots of clients, you got to turn that 2 to 4 hours into 1 to 2 hours, right? And so this is how you do that. Learning keyboard shortcuts, right? There's things on Photoshop called actions where you record different steps that you take. A lot of the times you'll find with experience that, hey, I do this one thing a lot. So even if this thing takes 2 seconds, if you do it 100 times, those seconds add up. So things like that will definitely help you cut your workflow down, fit in more people, and still deliver the same type of quality just in less time. And just being honest, experience.
I agree. Like a lot of times when you're using these programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, all of that, you want to know these keyboard shortcuts because that does save you a lot of time with working on a project. But one thing that he's not talking about is sometimes it's not just the keyboard shortcuts that makes you take a long time on a project. Sometimes it's research. So like if a person contacts you and they say, I want a trap house with a Da Vinci type of look. You know, a designer may not know nothing about trap house. They may have never heard that term, trap house. They may not even know what Da Vinci art is. So that may be time stacked on top of that. Now this person has to, go do research on all of that, find the best pick. Because let's say they're making a mixtape cover. They have to find the best, trap house they can find. They have to find the best house, or they may have to edit that house, make that into a trap house. They may have to find Da Vinci's art and then figure out a way to merge Da Vinci's art into that trap house. See, it's a lot of shit like that makes things take a long time. And I just want people to understand that when you book a graphic designer, sometimes they're not just sitting around taking forever on your project. Sometimes there's a lot of research going into how can I make this design the best design possible. So you don't want to be knocking out clients within 1 to 2 hours, because that automatically makes me think you're not really even putting that much thought into these projects if it's only taking you 1 to 2 hours. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of do disagree on that. Like, if you're like, usually a project would take you at least 4 hours, because all of the time that you're putting into making sure that project is perfect. Shit, it may even take you days. Like, making sure a project is perfect really has no time limit. But if you are a person that is trying to make a lot of money, then you do want to make sure that you're doing things to make your workflow faster. But let's continue.
Will definitely help you. Just being honest, experience will help you out. Like nowadays, I could do a masterpiece in 30 minutes because now I know how to honestly start designing mentally before I even get on the computer. But that's for
30 minutes. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I would like to see that. I mean, it depends on what type of project you're talking about when you say 30 minutes. Like, is this like this must be like a pretty easy project. Like, they must have just hit you up and said, yo, I want some weed sitting on a scale, and the name Trap Blocks, it's going to be a single cover with just a parental advisory. See, some shit like that you can throw together in 30 minutes. But like, if it's a more elaborate project where they like, look, I want a cartoon of myself, buildings everywhere, helicopters flying past and shit, like, it's going to take more time. Depending on the type of project. I just want to give y'all that so y'all not looking at this unrealistically and you thinking a graphic designer could run in the crib and in 30 minutes be typing all crazy and fucking just knocking projects out. It doesn't work like that. A lot of times the only way that graphic designers even knocking out projects that fast is if they're using templates, and that's a whole nother conversation. Let's continue.
Further down the line. Right now, we're just trying to start. Let's talk about pricing, because that's a big thing. Here's the magic about pricing. There's people that charge $500 for a design. There's people that charge $5 for a design. And what you'll find is that the quality is the indicator of who's charging for what. In order to work your way up to the higher point, then of course it's gonna come with time and experience, because you've got to get better. Me, I entered in at $25. That's what I said, okay, I'm good enough to get $25 a design. Honestly, I was lowballing myself. That's another story.
Nigga, you was low balling. You was super low balling. You must have been super amateur, because when I first started, I started at $40. So I wasn't far from you, but I wasn't doing a dub and a fin ball. I wasn't, like 25. I guess that's okay for a person. Like, I mean, I'm wondering what era did he start in? Because my guy Sapo, he started around 2006, 2007, and he used to only charge $10. So maybe he started a little bit, a little bit further back than when I started. Because 25 is extremely low. And anybody that's a graphic designer, if you're a graphic designer starting off, listen to me very closely. Start off with a price that you are comfortable with. If $25, if you feel like you're worth $25, charge $25. But I am strongly urging you, do not charge yourself that low. Graphic design is worth way more money, and your time is worth way more money than that. I'm not telling you to start at $1,000. I'm just saying 25 is too low. But let's continue. No disrespect to this brother. I'm just saying that $25, that's very low. But let's continue.
I started out at 25 per design, and then I worked my way up to 100 per design. Now, here's a couple things to note that I wish I knew when I started. You're gonna occasionally get the offer of, hey man, I can offer you exposure. I'm P. Diddy's nephew, and I can make you famous if you do this artwork for me for free. Now, majority of the time, 90% of the time when someone says that, that's all cap. However, it's important that you learn to...
Fucking cap! I don't trust no nigga saying no shit like that. They fucking liars. Like, you know what's so fucked up is that if they was telling the truth, imagine how dope that would be. Imagine how dope that would be that this famous person will offer you promo, real promo for doing their design. You know how dope that would be? Like, graphic designers would be doing that shit. But these niggas be fucking lying. Like, I'm talking about, y'all just don't understand how many times people have told me that. I've had famous people tell me, yo, they come to me, all nice and shit. Yo, what's going on? Yo, I'm feeling your shit, man. Listen, man, work with me on this project. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna promote you. I'm gonna be giving you so much business. I'm gonna be sending all my friends to you, and you'll fuck around and make a design, and they won't do shit. I gotta make a video about that. I gotta prove this shit to y'all, because some of y'all don't think this shit is real. Some of y'all don't think that a big ass celebrity will contact a regular nigga like me and ask for some shit like that. They do that shit all the fucking time. Especially if you good. It don't matter if you got 3 followers. If you good at this shit, a nigga will hit you up and fucking try to scam you with this promo shit. But let's continue. I appreciate this brother for bringing that up.
Identify when it's not, because honestly, it can be life-changing when it's not. See, sometimes in rare cases, it's worth it to do free artwork. For example, King Soulja 2, that was made by your boy. And Soulja didn't pay me for it.
Okay, I remember that cover. Okay, that's jogging my memory back. I remember this cover right here. Okay, Rico Copeland. Okay, I fuck with it. Let's go.
However, he did something better than that. He reposted it and then tagged me and said, hey, this guy did this artwork. And then I actually fell asleep and then woke up to about 30 to 35 people with cash in hand saying, hey, I seen that you did Soulja Boy's mixtape. I want you to do mine too. And see you at...
Yo, that's what's so crazy about this whole thing? A long time ago, this is probably like 2016, 15, I did a cartoon of Soulja Boy. He liked my shit and told me my shit was dope. He never posted my shit, but Soulja Boy is dope like that. Like, he could, like, that's when, like, I feel like people don't give Soulja Boy his props on that. Soulja Boy shows a lot of just a lot of love to like low key, like underdog, like graphic designers, videographers. Soulja Boy showed a lot of love to a lot of people behind closed doors, and I feel like he does not get recognition for that. So I feel like a lot of people sleeping on Soulja Boy. Like, he did that shit a lot. Like, I'm talking about a lot of graphic designers, a lot of upcoming graphic designers. Soulja Boy let a lot of them dudes do his covers, and a lot of them don't speak on it. But I'm gonna give Soulja Boy his props. Shout out to Soulja Boy. Let's continue.
At this point, I was charging $50 to $75 so, and I completed most of that work over a 2 to 3 day span. So you do the math on how much I ended up making off of that. So in rare cases, you'll know when it's worth it and when it's worth doing the free artwork for exposure.
Fact.
Also, here's something that I struggled with for a long time that I don't want you to struggle with. Most graphic designers require their payment up front, right? However, there are a lot of...
Me, nigga. Me. Y'all ain't playing with me. Y'all play with these other niggas? You ain't playing with me. How you think I got that watch? Y'all ain't playing with me. I want my money up front. Y'all not fucking playing with me. I already know them little goofy ass games that niggas like to play. Niggas will try to give you 25% of the money, half up front, fuck around and you send them a screenshot of the design. They'll fuck around and use the screenshot as their album cover. I'm telling you can't trust these niggas. I want all my shit up front. I mean, he may say something different, but I'm just letting you know how I roll. Nigga, I need mines immediately. Let's go.
Scammers on the internet, and a lot of people have been burnt by a fake graphic designer who ended up taking their money and blocking. So what I would do is I say,
scammer
okay,
niggas.
If I charge, let's say $200, I want $100 up front and then $200 upon completion, and then most of the time people are okay with that. What I don't want you to do is, because people will try to do this, people will say, well bro, see what you come up with and then I'll pay you if I like it. Let me tell you how that's gonna
Ooh, ooh, I done had so many niggas say that. Yo, I done had so many niggas say that shit. Yo, go ahead and just like, yo, this is funny because like, yo, I experienced the same goofy ass shit. They gonna be like, yo, just put something together, man. Just put something together, and then, you know, if I like it, I'm gonna go ahead and just send you the money. Like, nigga, but what if you don't like it? I just wasted hours and hours, or maybe even days on a design that you don't even fucking like. Nigga, you don't gotta waste my time. I'm getting paid for my time, my nigga. Fuck that. All right, let's continue.
That's gonna end up with them having you make all types of changes, investing 3 to 4 hours in the artwork, and then them ultimately saying, you know what, I don't even like it, or I don't even want to do it anymore.
Facts.
And then you spent your time for absolutely nothing. So
Facts.
always at least take a deposit before you start on anybody's artwork. If you would like to do this hustle, trust me, it is 100% feasible. You can learn it right from your couch, right from your desk, wherever you're watching this at. Now, as I mentioned, I cover various ways to make money, and I'm about to link you to a playlist. Meet me over in those videos. Love everybody out there. Let's get it.
Yo. Standing ovation, man. Standing ovation for the homie Rico Copeland. I mean, you didn't really say anything that I disagree with. I mean, I think I disagree with something, but I feel like everything you said was pretty much on point. Like, now you making 100K off of this shit? Nigga, goddamn. Nigga, I charged $250 for a design, and I don't even think I hit that yet. So shit, that's what's up. Like, a lot of people must fuck with your designs or whatever. But I just try to give people my opinion, just to give people realistic outlooks on, the way that graphic design works. Especially if you're a black graphic designer, like, you have to understand there are already people who are gonna act funny with you. You know, it's weird. I know some of y'all are probably like, don't bring up all of their racism and all that type of shit. But yeah, like, a lot of times when you're a black graphic designer, you doing these mixtape covers, logos, flyers, all that other type of shit, people are automatically gonna play with you. I don't know why, but it's just like that. People are gonna play with you. They're gonna try to do some scammy shit. They're gonna try to offer you promo. But listen, be about your money. Be serious about this shit. And when you get into this graphic design shit, you will make money when you're honest, realistic, and good at what you do. But my thing is, rebrand everything that you're doing and be honest with your customers. Just tell them straight up. Like, look, if they offer you some promo and all this shit, just be like, look, man, I appreciate you, but I can't do that. If they, they try to fucking get mad at you, go crazy on you, just block them. Just block them, or, be a professional. Apologize and say, look, I appreciate it, but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Just walk away from these situations. Keep everything as professional as possible, and make sure you are honest with your customers. Give them a terms and agreements. Give them your pricing, and if they don't want it, hey, just move on. Because just because that person doesn't want to purchase your design does not mean that somebody else doesn't want to get it. Everybody needs a graphic designer, believe it or not. Everybody needs, just like Wallow267 said, everybody needs that Swiss Army knife. Everybody needs that videographer, that graphic designer, just that person within media that can help them take themselves to another level as far as rebranding. And if you can become that person for somebody, it doesn't matter if you are the best graphic designer or the worst graphic designer. You will get paid as long as you are being honest with people, you're willing to work hard, and you're just a good person. That's what people want. They want a person that they can trust. That is how people, pay you and whatever. But look, Also, avoid doing things to look like a scam artist. That's another big thing that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about on YouTube right now. The scam artist community is going fucking crazy on graphic design, and us as graphic designers, we need to separate ourselves from these niggas. We need to let people know that we the real graphic designers, and them scammer niggas, them is them fucking nobodies. Like, get them the fuck out of here. But yeah, I feel like I'm ranting right now. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. I'm gonna go ahead and get another video knocked out for the day. But I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully the next video that I will be doing today. If I don't do another video today, nigga, I'm going to bed, and I'll do one tomorrow. But y'all have a nice day. Bye.